Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lab Rats Entertainment Podcast. My name is Ezra, and I'm joined by Ahmad and Sawyer, as always. Glad to have you back, Ahmad.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Sorry if
Guess who's back?
sorry if I sound a little sick. I've been feeling under the weather for the week, but we should have your regularly scheduled Lab Rats podcast this time around. So, without further ado, Sawyer, what is your topic this week?
My news topic?
Yes, your news topic.
My news topic is about Tom Welling reprising his role as Superman in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, I know we talked about Crisis last week with Caleb, but this news was not out there yet. I was like, well, it's cool enough. We can do it.
It's pretty big news if you know who Tom Welling is.
Right. So the reason why this is big, for those of you who don't know, is Tom Welling was Clark Kent, Superman, on Smallville from 2001 to 2011, I believe.
Yeah.
He basically was what kicked off the whole modern DC TV universe.
Yeah.
And he's going to be reprising his role in Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is shaping up to be one heck of a crossover.
This is like DC trying to do the thing where it's like the meme of like Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover ever, and then like they're trying to do that. It's not gonna work, but they're trying to.
I'm seeing it as like a Smash Brothers thing of like everybody's here. Everyone's here. It's like,
yes. You're looking at an older crossover.
Oh, okay.
I also heard a theory that there's potential of the Batwoman that Ruby Rose is playing is actually in the same universe as the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't buy that. But the reason why a lot of that theory came up was because that Batman is missing, and it supposedly takes place. I mean, they're shooting a lot of it in Chicago, which is where they shot a lot of the trilogy. So
interesting. The only thing I have to say is that about that is if that's the case, where the heck is Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Exactly.
But that's my problem. It's like you don't have to have any of the other cast. Just give me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Robin or whatever, right?
I mean, there's
like
no way that Christian Bale will come back.
Yeah, it's not happening. So why? Like, there's one character you have to have if you're doing the Nolan Batman universe, and it has to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. So I don't know. I think it's
If they ever did that, it would have to be a crossover.
Yeah, it seems like super cheap to just say like, oh, this is the Dark Knight universe. Like, what does that even mean?
Not even near the quality of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. Right.
Based on that trailer. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say how many characters are there gonna be?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. So
are they like cramming as well?
So think about like every superhero that has their own show. So Green Arrow, Flash, Supergirl,
all the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, which is like 6 characters.
Batwoman. Constantine, probably.
Yeah, Constantine will be there for sure, just because he's been around.
1990 Flash.
Yeah, 1990 Flash, and then 2 Supermen, Brandon Routh and Tom Welling.
Yeah.
And then
Tyler Hoechlin's Superman.
Is that right?
I think so.
That's 10 characters already.
3 Supermans.
It's 3 Supermans, and then don't forget about Kevin Conroy as Batman.
He's playing like Batman Beyond Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like the old man Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah. And then there's also the 60s Robin.
Yeah.
Is coming back.
Burt Ward's coming back. I think they probably would have brought Adam West, but they can't.
Yeah. Adam West would have been down to do it too, which is really sad.
I'm expecting that this is going to canonize the fact that all the different incarnations of these superheroes are all different Earths. I think it's going to canonize that idea.
Oh yeah, I don't just
I wouldn't be surprised if we get like footage, like when they teased Supergirl when they had Barry run through the Speed Force and you saw like clips of different Earths.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to do something like that with Barry, and he's going to see different clips of different movies happening in different. Like he sees like Heath Ledger in one. It's just like
no.
I can see
Jared Leto in another one.
He sees Jared Leto in another.
It's just all different And then you see Joaquin Phoenix in another. It's just all different versions of Joker. Just
Literally, that's all it
no
is.
other character, just Joker.
It'd be cool to see, like, imagine they do one where it's like a motion comic. Like, they have, like,
my God.
like Red
That'd be
Sun
hilarious.
Superman. That'd be interesting.
What if that happens to be the entirety of season 8 of Arrow?
It's all motion comic.
It's just all motion comic. 45 minutes of motion comic.
Imagine at the end of this crossover they tease Darkseid.
Oh man.
I don't know how you would possibly do that in a TV show, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I think we all said that the Russos couldn't pull off Infinity War.
Yeah.
Look at where we are.
Well, that was also on a several $100 million
Yes,
budget.
that's true. I don't know. I think, like, did you watch the episode where Gorilla Grodd fought King Shark?
Yeah.
I thought that looked pretty cool.
What is that? What is this?
It was an episode of Flash where Gorilla Grodd fought King Shark. It was
Oh,
like
wow.
a big CG battle.
Oh,
It was a CG battle. It was like a wrestling match.
Oh.
Like, it was teased as a wrestling match.
Granted, it also only lasted about 5 minutes.
That's true.
yeah.
Batman v Superman, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
okay.
yeah. I guess. I
yeah.
mean, unless you have anything else to say about this, I could move on to my.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
actually
it's
a pretty
still-
good way to
It's
lead
a
it.
pretty good
It's pretty
segue.
good,
I was gonna
yeah.
say it's a pretty good segue because like, so this is news to me. The new Robert Pattinson Batman is apparently going to be involved in what is supposed to be a new Justice League film. Is that what
Yeah.
this? Is that what did I? Is that
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up IMDb just to make
Oh, yeah.
sure because I saw.
So let me just, I guess, repeat that. They're gonna have a new Justice League film, and Robert.
Supposedly a reboot.
We're supposed. Okay, so it's not gonna be
We
connected.
don't know.
Okay.
So
it's not-
I don't even know what's going
Okay,
on.
so it's
at
not
this
gonna.
point.
Okay. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it's connected to the
Like the new
previous
movie.
film?
Yeah.
or if it's just gonna be like you said, a reboot, re kind of imagining.
I mean, I kind of think they should just own the recasting
Okay.
in.
Are they gonna? Does this mean they're gonna recast? They're not gonna recast the other characters though. So that means they're.
Yeah, well, so we don't know what's happening with Superman right now. Because, for all we know,
Henry Cavill's likely out.
yeah, like, we know that Henry Cavill is probably out,
Okay.
but we don't know that for sure.
Uh-huh.
The last we heard that Michael B. Jordan might be replacing him.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think that if they're going to do a Justice League movie, they should make it a sequel and own the recastings that they already have. Because like Shazam, because you already have Shazam, Wonder Woman,
Aquaman.
and Aquaman already have movies. This movie is probably not even in pre-production yet.
Yeah.
And the Flash movie will probably end up just coming out beforehand anyways,
If it
just
even
because
happens.
if it even happens, it's probably going to come out beforehand anyways, because it's like the problem that they're having is not that they're not greenlit, it's that they just can't come up with a good story to tell.
I think it's too early, but if they want to explain the recastings, just do Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flashpoint makes sense.
Right. Right.
That
would be so awesome. I'd
Yeah.
love that.
I think it would be a
like
bit
a whole
early,
Flashpoint movie.
but
For
if
a
they did
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint now, that explains the recastings.
Yeah.
I would say now, I don't know. I think a reboot. It's just so early. It was only like 2017 when we got Justice
Yeah,
League.
we would be like 5 years out if we got a reboot.
Yeah.
in
I would
2
say
years.
if they're gonna do a reboot, it's gonna get confusing to say, well, only Aquaman and Wonder Woman count. Everything else is scrapped.
Yeah, this is the problem with DC's canon right now is that like, so wait, did Man of Steel happen? We assume so.
Well,
but
and
did
what
it-
about with Suicide Squad? Because
Yeah,
now it's just
did
the
Suicide-
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did Suicide Squad happen? Like, what's going on? Is Jared Leto coming back as Joker? I think so. I think.
Nobody knows. And
Yeah.
what does Birds of Prey mean?
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
that?
seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that just a?
there's so much. They're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
That something sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, that's fine to a degree, but I think they're gonna realize fairly quickly that
It's not going to be sustainable.
this is not a sustainable strategy. They should run. You know what they should do is like they should find like if the Batman is good, which I think Robert Pattinson could pull it off. If the Batman is good, then what they should do is make like another Batman movie, and then which I would not necessarily like, but whatever. They should do another Batman movie and then start to branch out a little bit. Take it slow. Don't don't go snappy with it.
I'm a little apprehensive about some things. Specifically, I mean, I'm concerned about the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Have you seen Good Time?
I have. Well, we discussed this last time.
Yeah.
We discussed this last time, but here's what I'm trying to say.
I think he'd be great.
Hear me out. So like Robert Pattinson has done all these like indie films, low-key film, and like they're very subtle and stuff. And the last what's the last commercial thing he's done?
Probably Twilight. Yeah.
Twilight. So
Twilight and maybe some stuff that was like higher end on the indie chain, but not. Yeah.
So I mean, I would say Good Time was definitely a little higher end. A24 has now become a massive indie production company. Yeah. But
I mean, I think you put Robert Pattinson's name on anything, and it becomes kind of higher end, kind of like Daniel Radcliffe.
Right.
How like a lot of these movies that Daniel Radcliffe has been in, nobody would know about if Daniel Radcliffe weren't in it. You know what I mean? Like
Horns.
What?
Like Horns.
Horns. So
it's the Batman's like really commercial, and so like obviously it's an iconic character. The Batman's an iconic character. I'm kind of worried about how he might, I don't know, how he's gonna go about playing the character and whether or not people are gonna like what he does.
Yeah. Because
the Joker's been experimented with a lot. Yeah. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't, like Jared Leto's Joker. But I'm like a little hesitant to say like I'm extremely on board with Robert, because I know he's a good actor, and like you said, Good Time is really good. He's coming out with like a lot of indie films that are getting like attention and stuff. He's a good actor, but I'm a little worried about how big like the Batman's gonna be like really commercial, and how he's gonna play that.
I'm expecting it to go much more inspired by the Arkham games.
Okay.
Because I'm not thinking that this is gonna go.
Right.
When I say Arkham, I mean like grounded in reality, but it also has that very comic book aesthetic, where it very much feels like it's in a fictional. Comic
where
book
like
Gotham.
the penguin is like looks like a penguin and stuff like that.
And like it's not ground. It's not like the Dark Knight trilogy where you're like, okay, this is Gotham is just Chicago. Like it's not like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting this to be a super grounded in reality Dark Knight style movie. I'm expecting it to be very heightened.
Yeah. Well, what I want more than any, I don't really care about style, because I think Batman is kind of easy to adapt into various other, like really any kind of style you want. Mm-hmm. What I want is them to shut up with the Joker, and just like Joaquin Phoenix is getting a Joker movie. Let the Joker sit for a very long time.
Like do what they did with Spider-Man. Just do a villain you haven't seen on screen before.
Yeah,
do Deathstroke.
Do Deathstroke. Do the Penguin.
I want them to do I want them to do the Riddler.
The Riddler could be interesting.
Riddler would be cool. I think the one thing you would have to do is try to separate him from the Joker, because if you do the Riddler wrong, he's just like a poor man's Joker.
Basically.
But I think do Deathstroke, do
a more comic book version of Scarecrow could be cool too.
Yeah, Scarecrow.
Cillian Murphy was good, but it was very different from.
I don't disagree with that. I think I want more than anything. I want the Penguin.
What if they try to do What if they try to do the Mad Hatter?
Interesting. I would.
I'm just interested because I'm thinking.
What does the Mad Hatter even do?
They would have to have rights to like the Disney.
Public domain.
It's a public domain thing. Yeah. So it's not. For some reason, I thought I don't know, but
because Johnny Depp played him.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was like a Disney story, but like nothing they make is
Disney might as well have ownership of it. But.
Yeah. But like but like the Mad Hatter is associated with the Alice in Wonderland, if I'm not that character, like the same.
That's like the whole.
Yeah. I mean, I would be interested as to like how they would approach that. I don't know. I'm just thinking of like the animated series and thinking of like some of the villains that I thought worked well with.
I just really want them do like or you know, like if they're running with like the same kind of canon that Ben Affleck's Batman had, do like a kind of like Under the Red Hood thing, but keep Joker out of it. Make it like you know, the Penguin did what he did or something. Like I just want them to not do the Joker more than anything. If the first thing I hear at the end of the trailer for the Batman is a Joker laugh, I'm gonna be really mad.
Like if they're gonna do Joker, wait until like at least the third movie to do
movie
Joker.
3. Do an Injustice movie and have him be like the first.
Black Mask is a bat.
Black Mask could be cool.
Black
Mask. I think they're doing him in Birds of Prey. I think that's who McGregor's playing.
Oh, interesting.
Which, speaking of that, enough with the Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Please,
Joker and Harley Quinn, like, get them off my screen, please.
Harley Quinn will have had, I believe, more or tied with movies for Superman now in terms of the DCE.
Yeah, and more movies than Wonder Woman.
Which isn't. Yeah, because she was just in Wonder Woman.
Wait, no, I guess
Wonder Woman, Justice League, and BVS.
Yeah.
Well, even though
BVS, I don't even know if I count Justice League as a Wonder Woman movie.
I mean, it's an ensemble.
I would say maybe I don't know if Batman versus Superman because or what's the actual name of The Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
I don't because she was in that for a very small amount of time.
Barely in it.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
she was in like the climax. I think any character who's in the climax, I guess. Like,
well, Harley Quinn's actually been in more movies in the DCEU than Batman has. Well, wait, Suicide Squad.
Was he in?
Yeah, he's in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Suicide Squad.
That's how forgettable Suicide Squad is. I'm like, wait, he was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I want.
But the fact that Harley Quinn's getting 3 movies, it's just like, wow, other characters have barely even gotten 1.
We still have to make an Aquaman 2 and stuff.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten a good Flash movie yet, and we're still,
I'm telling you, dude.
They should do Flash. I think you're right. I think they should do Flashpoint. Yeah. It is a little early, but like...
It's a built-in reset button.
Yeah, it is. And, it... You know what I wish they would do? I wish that they would just, like... do what Marvel is doing now and just like open up the TV stuff to just be whatever they wanted, like because I think if they did like a Batwoman show and it was in the context of the larger DC movie verse, I think that would open the door for creators, for like the people that they already have to have an effect on this universe that could then lead to an actually pretty awesome Justice League movie. Like I think like if they I wouldn't necessarily be happy about this, but if they scrapped Ezra Miller as Flash and scrapped, I guess that would be it. If they just scrapped Ezra Miller as Flash and then made an awesome, made a good movie with him, or made a good, like, just kept going with the Grant Gustin Flash, and then just brought them all together in a Justice League movie, I think that would work really well.
What they honestly should do is just scrap everything they currently have. As much as I love Henry Cavill Superman,
and Shazam.
That. Yeah, just keep Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. Scrap everything else and say, okay, Wonder Woman started our universe. She's going to be the start, and then keep everything else.
That's true.
Scrap everything else.
I think I would.
And Wonder Woman would function well as a good Iron Man.
I think where they're at right now is they're trying to salvage something that's already crumbling and falling apart. Yeah. So, I think that you're right. I would not mind if they just clean slate, start with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, and just build the story from there. You mentioned Aquaman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and just go from there because it seems like they're really trying to. Salvage, these, like, try to, like, revamp these films that already haven't worked or didn't work and trying to, like, keep these characters alive when they're just not working. So I'm just like, they need to figure something out where it's just, like, I wouldn't be opposed to them just starting off.
Because Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 2 really don't have to worry about like Batman and Batman versus Superman.
The only mention was that their Wayne Enterprises is mentioned briefly at the beginning.
Well, but Wayne Enterprises is mentioned in literally everything.
Yeah, so like it doesn't really matter.
Like Batman, like if you're doing a DC thing, Batman exists in it whether you like it or not. Like you don't have to have him in it; he just exists. Same with Superman.
Or theoretically, they could just say, well, I mean, it'd be a little bit different because of age, but they could say, oh, Pattinson and Ben Affleck, same Batman, and just ignore that. And then, I guess, if you replaced Henry Cavill with Michael B. Jordan, that's going to need a little bit more explaining. But it's...
Yeah.
Honestly,
You'd have to, like... What I would do is I would just, like, reshoot Man of Steel, but with Michael B. Jordan. It's just, like...
Just bring Henry Cavill back. He's so good in the role. And I mean, as much as he's good...
He just hasn't had good scripts to work with.
And I don't think he's that expensive of an actor, considering, again...
I can't imagine. He's been in so many other things. Like, he's in The Witcher. Like, I can't imagine he's that...
Yeah.
Although I think he wanted to do The Witcher.
I mean, he's a great actor, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's $30 million worth.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not a Robert Downey Jr.
What was the Mission Impossible film? The last thing is...
and The Witcher. He's in The Witcher.
Right now he's working on The Witcher.
It's a Netflix series.
Oh, that's right, okay.
But, I want it to be good. I really need DC to be good. But they need to just scrap everything and get somebody in, Jeff Johns or somebody, and say, this is our slate. This is what's canon. Everything else doesn't matter. Because now they're just saying, Joker's a popular character. Give him a movie. Harley Quinn was popular. Give her a movie. Whatever's making money, just throw in there.
And I don't think this really says anything about the individual, like the quality of the individual projects. Because I think that because I really liked Shazam. Yeah. I just think that they need to slow down. They need to get their stuff together, and they need to just.
Because this isn't sustainable.
Yeah, this business model isn't going to work out for them. And Disney will buy them before they get this to work.
Well, and that's a true monopoly, is if they have the two biggest superhero universes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Well,
Disney needs competition. Get on it, DC.
Yeah. Like right now, Marvel's just laughing all the way to the bank. The only competition they really have right now is, I guess, now technically Spider-Man.
You know what? Marvel has made some really quality products. So I don't know what to I don't know what to say. Like, you just have to make some good stuff. Like, putting Superman's name on something isn't going to make your thing good. Like, it might make it sell a little bit. But
the sad thing is Marvel's able to make a movie about a talking raccoon in a tree and make millions of dollars. Meanwhile, DC can't seem to get a full-length Superman movie off the ground.
Seriously.
And it's
one of the most iconic characters ever, and they can't get.
Maybe that's
have the two characters that outrank Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe that just stems from the character. And I don't want to go off on a tangent too, but just for the character of Superman being really hard to write for.
Yeah, he is difficult.
So he is hard to. Yeah, I mean, he is hard. Do you do Christopher Reeves or do you do Man of Steel?
Well,
those are the two things.
I do give Zack Snyder credit for, though. I liked the idea where there was Superman as a god and him having to reconcile with the fact that humanity views him as this all-powerful being.
Yeah.
I liked that idea rather than just I'll save you, good old Christopher Reeve Superman. As much as he's classic, we're not in that era anymore.
Yeah,
that doesn't work in 2019.
With audiences.
Yeah. Like the Truth, Justice, and the American Way is not going to sell tickets in 2019.
Yeah. All right, let's
before we get on to that, I was on this article. There was 3 brief headlines I was going to mention real quick. First one is apparently there's a Star Wars story spinoff headed to Disney Plus, which will address the whole Maul cliffhanger at the end.
Interesting.
I don't know how valid these are about it. These are all coming from WeGotThisCovered.com.
That's an interesting idea, though.
That one, Robert Downey Jr. apparently might have a cameo in Black Widow,
which would be kind of cool.
It does take place between Civil War and Infinity War, so it could make.
Oh,
sense.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
what? It's not just a prequel to the MCU. No. I'm so excited. Yes. I'm sad that it's not a sequel to Endgame, but but I'm also happy that it's not just a straight up prequel to.
So which means I would honestly expect that maybe we get archive footage or some kind of cameo from Chris Evans, considering she was on his team.
I would be surprised if Chris Evans wasn't in it, actually.
And then, I think it wouldn't be anything more than likely a cameo.
Like a really small moment, this movie is shaping up to be awesome. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Black Widow.
Yeah. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be another one that's just going to hit your heart. Spider-Man will return to the MCU if Apple buys Sony.
What?
There's a growing apparently
Whoa, what?
Yeah, so
that's big. Apple buying Sony is insane.
So this was an article that came up here. It says
that's not gonna happen.
Here we go. In a new twist that this is from WeGotThisCovered.com. In a new twist that not many people can say they saw coming, it appears that Apple could be eyeing Sony. If that happens, the rights to Spidey will return to Marvel Studios. If you recall, back in December, we heard that Apple was, and it still is, looking to get the piece of the pie in the streaming business, and that a Sony buyout is one of the quickest ways to get their feet wet and acquire a ton of content and IP.
Real facts.
There are a boatload of interesting details about the deal. Obviously, one of them is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If Sony sells out to anyone, the Spider-Man rights automatically revert back to Marvel.
Interesting. So that's just like part of the deal then.
Yes.
That's crazy. Now, I don't buy that Apple's going to buy Sony.
Yeah.
But
Sony's CEO has repeatedly said that he's not letting go of the company, but I seriously doubt he'd be able to say no to the right amount of money, as Apple likely has.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Apple would be the company that would waive the right amount of blah blah blah.
I don't think Sony's been in the game since Apple.
Yeah.
Since before Apple buy it, and like I don't know if they're not in a position where they're just like they're not selling a lot or they're still like,
Sony's gonna be in business longer than all three of us are gonna be alive.
Yeah.
Or like.
So I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting.
If they did acquire them, I don't think it would be a completely just like with like shuttering the studio and the company and just bringing it under the Apple banner. I think it'd be like what Fox is with Disney now, where they're still an independent, or not independent, they're still an operating company. They're just under the Disney banner.
Yeah.
So I think it would likely
kind of like Marvel Entertainment is kind of doing its thing, but Disney just kind of gets the profits.
Yeah, like likely what would probably happen is all of the Sony tech would now be branded Apple Tech. PlayStation would be spun off into its own.
Maybe it would
branch.
still be PlayStation.
Yeah, it would be spun off into its own PlayStation branch or brand, and then
I think it kind of already is.
It already is, but like even more so independent.
Yeah.
That and then Sony Pictures would be independent, but in terms of they would probably just take the different assets. But Spider-Man would revert back to Marvel based on the license.
That's a crazy proposition.
Now, if this deal happened, there is no concrete details. It's just reports that Apple is eyeing Sony because they did not acquire Fox, and that's why people don't even realize this.
This is all like fallout from the Fox deal.
It's a lot of fallout because, and without getting into politics, mergers are big right now with a lot of business being pro-business right now. And with streaming, a lot of these companies want to have, I guess, I know I already did my news topic, but this is pretty big.
Yeah.
A lot of companies want a library to build their service because you don't have content. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
If Apple were to buy Sony, that gives them their entire film and television library.
Well, and with iOS 13, they're already trying to get into the gaming space, so, more than the Apple Store.
So the only hurdles this would have to pass was, first of all, Sony would have to say yes to the right amount of money, depending on how much it is. It would have to pass Congress.
Yeah.
That's
well, and not to mention Sony's a Japanese company, so
it would have to
there's
pass
stuff there
both.
too.
Yeah, I mean, there would be a lot of hoops it'd have to jump through legally in order for this to happen. But if it did happen, the Spider-Man rights would automatically revert back.
Interesting.
Which would mean that every character would be home except for solo Hulk movie rights. Would be the only one.
That's insane. Of all of the characters that Marvel doesn't have, it's Spider-Man
and solo Hulk
and Hulk by himself.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know totally how the Namor rights work. It could be Namor as well.
Okay.
There's Kevin Feige hasn't exactly confirmed how that is.
Okay.
But everything except for Spider-Man, solo Hulk, and potentially Namor are the only ones they don't have.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but it's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
That and what was that would really leave if Apple did acquire Sony. How many that would just leave in terms of big name players? It'd be Apple, Disney, Universal, and Warner Brothers.
Even Universal's about dying.
In terms of like movie,
in terms of like film studios,
Paramount is still
Paramount's independent, I think, aren't they? Or
no,
they're owned by Viacom.
Yeah, no, they're major, but they have independent branches.
Yeah. Well, actually, because Sony, as I remember talking about this in class, Sony's the only independent studio still, because
it's not owned by any kind of
Paramount's owned by Viacom. Disney Studios and Fox Studios are owned by the larger Disney Corporation.
Yeah.
All right. Which is what's
the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
Isn't I thought Paramount was Disney? Is that
No,
wrong?
it's Viacom.
Okay.
Warner Brothers is owned by Time Warner, which is now owned by AT&T. So
That's all like.
what else was there? There was one other major one. Who owns Universal's and Comcast? That's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Phil Mystery just put,
And doesn't Disney have like tons of stake in Comcast anyways or something?
Likely.
Like that? Yeah. So it's everything goes back to either like Disney, WB, or Sony at this point.
It's the same
like
four companies controlling the entire industry.
Yeah.
But,
Seriously.
yeah. Okay, so that's a slight detour. You go ahead and do yours.
Well, so we're already 30 minutes in and we're kind of short on time, so I'll scrap my news topic in favor. I think that was a good news topic anyways.
Still your 10 minutes, Ezra. Sorry about that.
All good. My topic was more personal than anything, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the my topic this time around is going to be trading card games.
Interesting.
Now,
cool.
as kids, we all grew up with them present, regardless of whether you were into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh,
This is a pretty
Magic.
This is a pretty good topic. Okay. Magic. Magic. I wasn't really as involved with. But
I've never been into Magic. Yeah.
But like it's another trading card game that I feel like I would be interested in.
Magic, I think, is more for like. Not that all trading card games are like quote unquote for kids, because I respect anybody who's into them.
Yeah. Isn't Magic
like I'm kind of into them, but
for
like,
more of like adult?
Yeah, I think it's like geared more towards adults.
I'd probably say like late teens and then young adults.
Yeah, like card shops generally end up gearing themselves more towards Magic, because I think like the adults who are running the card shops are more into Magic.
I would say it's mostly
that
like
kind of thing.
20-something-year-olds who are
Yeah.
Dude, but like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I've recently sort of started getting back into that game, and it's
right.
It's fun. What were you gonna say about Pokemon cards?
Well, what I was gonna say is like, and this goes generally without like with all the trading card kind of games, is it's just like, I don't know, like just as a kid being able to, like knowing that there's like a vast amount of characters, and knowing that the characters have these like kind of like ranking systems that go up depending on like how much money you're willing to spend, and like and like how much time you've put into like collecting these cards. And like it was really cool it was really cool to be able to collect the cards and also go to school and like trade, and that was trade cards and stuff. It was like I think Pokemon was a card game that I collected like very early, and then like later on I think I got more into Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh I had more of a collection for.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean I watched both. I watched the Pokemon show like from the 90s, and I enjoyed that, and some of the movies, and then also I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh show.
Yu-Gi-Oh's great.
I was on. This is really random, but I looked up the Yu-Gi-Oh like theme song, and like I just got like a blast.
The Yu-Gi-Oh theme song is awesome.
It was pretty sick, and I was I was like, this like. Whenever you hear this, whenever you hear like a cartoon theme song,
your move,
but like it was just like, I got this feeling that I'm about to be immersed in like a 20-minute episode of awesomeness.
For me, I was never Yu-Gi-Oh. Magic, it was never really part. The only one was for me, if we're talking card games, was Pokemon. Now I watched some of the cartoon, or I guess anime. I never got huge. I did have the Pokemon the movie 2000 on VHS.
Okay.
And then whatever the one that Mew was in, I had that one.
That was
Lucario and the Mystery of Mew.
I don't know.
Was it?
We're going back like 10 years.
Was it just Mew, or was it Mew and Mewtwo?
Both Mew and Mewtwo.
Okay, so that it was not Lucario and the Mystery of Mew.
Well, it was. I mean, I had that. I had a couple of the cards that my older cousin had given to me, and now I gave those cards to my younger cousin. So
interesting.
I used to play with them. I was never a huge Pokemon guy. It was mostly always Star Wars for me.
Yeah. I mean, I decided recently that like I'm not gonna get that many opportunities to play. Like, in terms of like the game itself, I'm more, I would say, into Yu-Gi-Oh than I am into Pokemon.
Okay.
But like, I figured like I'm not gonna get that many opportunities to actually play the game. And like I like the quality of art. I'm more invested in Pokemon as a brand.
Yeah, that's exactly
than I am into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Like I like the characters in
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, but
Right.
I don't like there are only a few cards in Yu-Gi-Oh that I like, and like in terms of that, like my Yu-Gi-Oh deck is basically already built out then.
Yeah.
So it's like I have more fun like collecting the Pokemon cards. And I have to say the quality of art on some of these cards is really awesome.
Yeah,
There's a common Riolu that looks that like the art is super pretty, and like the same with like this rare Lucario that doesn't matter at all, like it looks sick. There's stuff like that I really like about trading card games.
Right.
And I was also going to mention like the sort of new age like Hearthstone,
like digital card
like
games?
the digital card games. I find those super interesting in terms of like the free to play mobile space.
Right.
Because it's like, it's not quite the like it's still like the gambling thing, but it's more like the gambling that you have in real life card games, where it's like you're buying packs with the hopes of getting the card that you want, but you're still getting a card, kind of thing.
There's something to say. Like, I definitely agree with you, because as a kid, I think it was more about collecting the cards.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken the time to learn how to play the actual games, but for me it was just like
the Pokemon card game.
Pokemon card game and also the Yu-Gi-Oh card game.
Oh yeah.
I remember there was like a period of time where I actually sat down and tried to. It's just sometimes people like either other kids weren't invested or like trying to play, or like I just wasn't. I lost interest.
That's what I was telling my dad at one point. Like, you know what I wish this family was more interested in was trading
card games. But like it was very much so like looking at the art and like collecting cool art, and like just like the idea that, you know, the more unique your card is, the more cool it looks, and like it has like these interesting kind of characteristics to it. Like sometimes it's shiny, sometimes it like glimmers and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes the card is like entirely art rather than like the box and the description and stuff.
Do you remember your first card? Your first Pokemon card?
Oh,
my
first
Pokemon
I don't
card.
remember the name of it, but I remember what it looked like.
What it looked like?
Mine was yellow, and it had, I don't remember the name of the one, but it was like the little like electron balls that had like the magnets on it.
It's a Magnemite.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it one ball or three?
I believe it was 3.
Okay, so that would be Magneton.
I think I had Magneton was my first.
Yeah.
I believe. Now this is going back to first grade, but it's
look up Magneton and then show him the picture.
Yeah, it was that one. It was that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
Magneton's pretty cool.
Yeah, Magneton's pretty. I think I had this one as well. I'm a fan of Magneton. Well, was this one more of a common one, or was it like a?
I would. It must have been common because
I would assume any of like the like a mid evolutions like Magneton is. I would assume that's fairly common.
I mean, it must have been common because I just got it given to me in first grade at recess. So it must not have been very valuable.
I don't remember my first Pokemon card. I remember having this really funky looking Pikachu. At one point, it was like an OG Pokemon card that I saw. Sorry. The problem that I had was that at one point I gave them away or something like that. So like I've just now been like restocking in a way.
Yeah. That's cool.
And so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember like I don't remember my first card.
Yeah.
Because there were so many of them, but I do remember like asking my dad to buy me a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards for the first time, and like just like this, like the excitement that I had like opening it and like
seeing what I
got. So like I remember that. And like that obviously, was a recurring thing whenever that's what kept kids buying these products. It's just like the excitement and like the wonderment of like what
the kind of the sort of characterization of this sort of
pack of cards that you're gonna get. I have to mention this because this is another major thing of my childhood, but Bakugan.
Yeah, I was looking it up too.
Bakugan has recently shifted away from like the ball, like the little ball guys, and like I think like that's still a major part of it. Yeah. But I watched a Bakugan match the other day, like from like the recent reboot, and it's super different. It's like you're shuffling the cards, and like you're playing the card, and I'm like, this is not how it used to be. Like you used to play like one card, and you would play it, and then the stats would match. It was like a Pokemon match. And then like you either won or lost, and that was how you just kept playing the game.
Yeah. I don't remember how to play it. I just remember I had your standard that one that one. That one,
Dragonoid, man.
Dragonoid. And then there was a gray one. It was like gray and yellow.
Was it gray and like orange is yellow, kind of teal?
I think so.
Not teal, but like it was yellow orange. I know that was more of like an earth one, I think.
Like I said, this is going way back.
There's so many Bakugan.
But I think I remember.
Well, there were also like different colors of like various Bakugan. So there was like a dark Dragonoid.
Right. Yeah. Dude, it was literally like this is a weird way to put it, but like it was like a drug, like kind of like it was
an addiction.
It was like an addiction, but like no, it was like there was like this drug trade going where it's just like I had to in order for me to start to trade, I had to somebody get like I was like where you got a Yu-Gi-Oh card handed to you. Somebody gave me like a Bakugan, and I was like, I have my 1 star, and I have to build from this. And like you would try to trade. We would. So there was a really bad moment where the school literally banned all Bakugan.
I remember that
ours
sort
was
of
Pokemon.
I remember the Bakugan craze hitting my school, and like immediately it was like cramped down on. I was so sad.
They have like the student
schools are the worst.
They are the worst. They kill your they killed my childhood.
Schools kill childhoods.
That's real facts.
Seriously though, I had a similar thing happen in a marble game that we played, but the teachers would take away our marbles and take away our souls.
Yes.
So you know how the school, how they had like newscasts and stuff that students would do, and like they literally had like a bunch of Bakugan on the table, and they're like, "This is not allowed anymore." And like I remember like looking over at like other kids, and like we just like hit our Bakugan even lower. Like it was something where we would have it on the desk, and we were proud of it, and like later on we would just like put it in our pockets. That's why I say it was like a drug trade, because it was like illegal.
So that's be like, yo, I got some.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because like we would go to like the bathrooms and like just like smuggle it in the bathrooms and stuff, and like we would make a fun, and like it was just really weird, but like it was fun, and like we traded, and like I brought a dragon on. My dad bought me one, and I was like, it was $5, and I was like, this is so expensive. Like he's not gonna want to buy this for me. But
do you remember, speaking of like ones being banned, the silly bands?
Oh yeah, those were also banned.
Those things were worthless. They are literally just rubber bands.
Well, the thing was, is like people would have wars with them, or like they would like put them on their fingers and like flick them at people. So like that's why also they got, because it was more of like
because people were getting hurt.
Yeah. Well, I gotta bring this up
during this.
I gotta bring this one up because I don't know how much of this affected your guys' childhoods, but do you remember? And I know, Dad, when you hear this, you're gonna come out. Do you remember Beyblades?
Yeah, I do remember. Yes. Of course I do.
Beyblades actually pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
They're really awesome.
It's stupid. I think the fact that they have like Beyblade World Championships is like, you could look them up and they like have production and commentators, and it's like, what is there to commentate? Like
spinning
one is going to fall over before the other. We know this for a fact, and then it's going to end, and whoever got more points is going to win the championship. Dude, that's not how. Like, how do you even have this?
There's something to say about that, because like over the summer I was at my uncle's house, and they had like he had kids, and like they had like Beyblade, like how like they have the plastic little
you have to have like the arena thing,
and they did it, and I was like, that's not as awesome as I remember it being. So I was like, I like this. Whenever I was a kid, I was like, you would do it, and like it's just this awesome battle. And like when I saw them do it, it just like kind of like poofed, and I was like, oh, that's not as awesome.
Well, and my biggest issue with Beyblade right now is like the launcher things don't actually like hold on to the Beyblades very well.
I was having a hard time putting I tried to do it, and like I was like, am I missing something? Like,
it's tougher than it should be.
I remember I had the blue one and like a grayish white one. Okay. I also had it was like gray and yellow.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it was called El Drago. I remember.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
El Drago,
I don't know, like that.
There's a Star Pegasus.
Yeah. I was at Meijer the other day, and like they still sell Bakugan. They still sell the collectible. Like,
they still sell like all of the sort of big name.
Right. They still
like every brand that 2000s kids grew up with are still around.
For the most
basically,
part. Except for Silly Vans.
Except for Silly Vans, because those are like out. Those are
they
like
became something
very
else.
much just, like early 2000s, like like mid 2000s kind of.
The most 2007 thing.
But like Bakugan relaunched recently.
Yeah, I saw. I'm actually gonna pick some up. I'm not gonna. I just feel like maybe it's a hold.
Well, everybody who just casually watches this show thinking we were just regular normal people will be like, these nerds. All
right, but you guys are gonna find this funny. So how I moved away from Bakugan was, this is gonna be pretty sad, but for some reason I had it in my mind that I'm an adult now.
I think you've told me this story.
And so I threw the Bakugan away, and I immediately regretted it the next day. I was like very sad, and I was like, I'm not an adult. I was still like,
I'm not an adult.
This is like in 6th grade, and I was like, I'm moving away from this.
That's sad. That is very sad.
It's very sad.
I think I sold my Bakugan because I was just bored of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember even what happened to mine. I remember what happened to my Pokemon cards because I just gave them to my cousin over this summer.
Yeah.
But because they were just sitting in the basement.
Yeah.
But my Bakugan, I don't remember, and I don't even know where the Beyblades went either.
Interesting. I recently sort of repurchased, like a couple of years ago. I got Beyblades for my little brother, and he likes them a lot. He's I think Beyblade is perfect for kids who like don't know what's going on.
Right. I mean, there's still, like I said, I was at my uncle's. Like it's still it's like, which is pretty cool to like think that it's still a thing that kids are still amused by and stuff. Yeah. So like that's kind of cool. I was gonna say, I was at Meijer and I was walking through the aisles and I saw Bakugan and the trading cards and like this like sense of like excitement, like this childhood like urge to like want to buy something just to like look.
We should do like a Lab Rats event where people just play Bakugan.
I'm down to do. Like I literally want to learn how to play the game. I'm also like interested in. There's Dungeons and Dragons that I would be kind of interested.
I've always wanted to, but it takes so much time.
It's very. It's like I was talking to somebody about it, Jillian. If you're listening to this, but she was really talking to me about how like it works and like it's a lot of world building. It takes a lot of time to develop and stuff. So I'm just like, the people who play are really dedicated and like they take the time to actually like build the world and like kind of fabricate this like map that your players go through, which is really cool. It sounds like
I've always been interested in doing it, but I've never had the just sheer amount of time that it takes.
Right, it takes a lot of time.
It's sort of that, and like the fact that everybody has to have the same amount of time.
Right.
is kind of hard to coordinate.
Right. I'm actively looking for something like that's cool and collectible, and I'm gonna pick up a 3-pack of Bakugan one day, and I'm gonna give each one of you one, and we'll just sit here and just
play Bakugan.
I did, speaking of collectibles, I considered collecting some of the pop vinyls.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. And then I realized there are thousands.
There's a lot of them.
So many. I have like 4.
Yeah. Some of them are very rare too. Like there's some of the ones that are like limited only at Comic-Con or D23 are like several $100.
Oh wow!
Thankfully, most of those I'm not interested in because they're more like for like comic people and stuff. Like I'm more of like a games person.
Okay.
So the one that I wanted, but it's really rare. But at D20, I think it was D23 or Comic-Con or something. They had a pop vinyl of Indiana Jones, circa Temple of Doom, and that's the only Indiana Jones one they've made, and it's so hard to find.
Oh wow!
And it's probably like uber expensive.
Oh yeah, it's in the hundreds. I know.
Right. Yeah. But that's like if I see a character that I want to like that has meant a lot to me, I'd probably pick it up.
Did you guys hear about that shiny Charizard that sold for like $10,000?
Oh no, I haven't. That's awesome.
Like there was like a recent Pokemon set where they had like a ton of shiny Pokemon, and the shiny Charizard GX sold for $10,000, and I was watching a YouTuber open packs the next day, and he was saying like, yeah, that was really stupid. He should have waited because then it would be like, because then more people would open it and it would be like $800.
Yeah,
it's
right now it seems like it's listing for like $500. That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty insane.
Yeah, but that's still a lot.
I don't actually want that card, so it's good to be a Pokemon fan for me.
The one that I had as a kid, circling back to Pokemon, that I still remember, other than my Magneton one, was and I don't know if it was worth anything, but it was a it was, instead of like your standard blue back, it was like a darker orange and brown, almost looking like a Yu-Gi-Oh card actually.
Interesting.
Oh.
And it was shiny, and it was Mewtwo, and instead of being in English, it was in Japanese.
Oh.
Whoa, that's pretty wild, actually. Yeah. For you to just come across that, that's pretty
I don't remember how I got it. I just remember I had it. I was like, it's probably
pretty
still with my
crazy.
cousin now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, if you're listening, I should probably get that card back because it could be worth money.
It might.
You're worth a lot.
If
I was
it's
gonna-
shiny and it has Mewtwo on it, it might be worth some
Japanese. That's an interesting card. Yeah, I was gonna look-
I should clarify. I'm assuming it's Japanese because Pokemon is Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not in
Well,
English.
it
It
was
has
not
like
in
Asian characters.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's probably Japanese.
That's why I was saying. I'm
I
assuming
can't-
it's Japanese.
I can't imagine anything that you would find in like the U.S. would be of a different language other
especially
than
of
Japanese.
Pokemon.
Like if it's a
Yeah.
foreign language, I would assume it's Japanese.
Or Spanish.
Yeah.
Well,
If you're talking Asia, yeah.
yeah. Like if you're talking like an Asian product and it's not in English, it's probably in Japanese. That's what I would
Try to
assume.
look those.
You'll
But-
find the rare thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We should probably move on to the next
Yes.
topic.
Yeah, that
So-
was a good topic.
That was
Ahmad.
good.
Yeah.
Ahmad, what is your topic this week?
Enemy.
Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal,
Jake
right?
Gyllenhaal. Yep. So directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Who is a great director.
Yeah, he was a great.
So is that how you pronounce it? Denis Villeneuve?
Then I was trying to like.
Yeah.
Is it Vill?
I always say Villeneuve.
It's V. Oh.
I like how this is what we got up on.
But
I'll look it up.
Okay. But it's a 2014 release. Like I said, Denis Villeneuve directed it. Nicholas Bolduc was the cinematographer, which sounds familiar actually. I think.
I've always said Villeneuve,
Villeneuve.
but I don't know if that's
okay.
true or not.
But it's a very interesting film. I hadn't seen it prior to. Actually, I guess this is a good time to plug Michael's Appreciation Club.
Yeah.
If you're a film production major, or you don't have to be a film production major, but if you're interested in film in any kind of way,
At BGSU.
and you're at BGSU, that's something. But if you're at BGSU and you're interested in films, Michael's Film Appreciation Club is a good way to kind of get exposed to films that you wouldn't otherwise be exposed
Mondays 9:15 in Olds
to.
Camp.
Olds Camp 117.
117.
Michael, if you're listening, that's a shameless
Yes.
plug. So, but I watched Enemy at his Film Appreciation Club, and it features Jake Gyllenhaal, who is the lead character. It's an interesting. I took me some time to think about it because you two haven't seen it. So
I haven't seen
I want to, but I haven't.
okay.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
So yeah, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, well, I read the IMDb
Okay.
thing just now, and it's about a guy who is looking for his exact look-alike.
Right.
I'm basically quoting the IMDb thing here.
Right.
He's looking for his exact look-alike after he sees a movie with him in it.
With him in it. So like this Jake Gyllenhaal plays a historian or history teacher.
Interesting.
And this double that he sees as a film actor, and I want to see. I've kind of garnered like my own unbiased opinions on the film, and I know there's a lot of like theory videos online about like as to what the story is and stuff. And I think there's definitely the story explores our relationships between like we have these like counterparts to us. The history professor, Jake Gyllenhaal, is much nicer. He's more shy and is not as open to confronting people, whereas the actor is completely different, almost like an opposite, and he's more willing to confront people. He's more he's like more outgoing kind of. He's actually in a better financial situation than the history teacher.
He's an actor.
He's an actor, but he's like he's not like a high end actor. He's an actor who does like villain roles, like you see them for like a brief second. So it's not like he's a well known actor, but he's come upon some money. But the film explores the ideas of how we have different personas and stuff, and that sometimes
is it sort of like modern day non-Russian Persona?
Yeah.
Have you seen Persona?
Essentially, Persona I have seen it.
Have you seen Persona?
Nope.
It's a pretty good film.
It's pretty good. Doesn't exactly sort of characterize how I feel about that movie.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
it's a pretty wild ride.
Right. It is pretty wild.
For only having two characters living in one location,
Yeah.
it's a crazy movie.
Yeah.
It's a prequel of Persona 5, right?
Oh, no. So
yes, the Russian prequel to Persona 5. Yes.
But I guess that's a good point. This film is also very, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much because it's a film you should
Does
watch.
it well I guess I would ask, sort of following up, is it the way that Persona kind of goes like it kind of plays straight for, I would say, the first 30 minutes, and then it goes in like a super abstract direction. Does it kind of go that way in Enemy 2, where it starts out making sense but then it doesn't?
Yeah.
midway through.
Yes, I would say so. But there is an opening sequence that does not make much sense. They're in like a Jake Gyllenhaal's in a cult. I don't know if you guys have seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Clips. I haven't seen the whole thing.
There's a whole. It gave me like that kind of vibe where it's just like this kind of like cult, and like there's just like bad stuff that's going on in the cult.
As it usually happens. Usually goes.
There's no good cult.
But
it's well, that's the opening of the film, and after that it's very kind of normal, and it walks us through like Jake Gyllenhaal's life, and then he notices he sees himself in the film, and that's when it kind of gets like topsy-turvy, like, and like he turns his laptop off that he's watching the film on, and he goes out searching for this like double, and then when they find each other, they like there's like an interesting kind of like interaction between them. Jake Gyllenhaal is such a good actor. He has like in this film there's like nuances that no other actor would think of adding. Like the way he kind of, sometimes he would stutter, sometimes he would like there's a lot of moments where he like the dialogue is very realistic. Yeah. And I really appreciate that about Jake Gyllenhaal, because that's something he kind of carries through with all of his films. And especially in Far From Home. Yeah. He has a lot of moments where it's just like he like very small quirks that you like other actors wouldn't otherwise pick up on or try to do. Yeah. But he does, and that makes his dialogue more compelling, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say any movie with realistic dialogue is like 100 times more watchable.
It's something that seems like it's improvised, though. It's like it doesn't seem like it was just...
It doesn't seem written.
Written, but it's something that he's kind of, based on his observations in real life, he has come up with like these like very small, like minute like characteristics to himself that
like little ticks that
little ticks, and then like it works very well, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I feel everything you've told me about it very much screams like Persona. Mm-hmm. And if you've watched Persona, which I know you have, you know that it's like, what was it stressful? Was it like, did you walk away feeling like you were gonna have nightmares later?
There's a very like,
not like horror movie.
Right. That's not like, horror. There's a very, very scary last shot in the film. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's kind of like, it's an image that's really terrifying, and they just have it there, and like it doesn't necessarily relate to what like the film is, but there's more thematic elements to it. And I don't know, I'm doing somewhat of a bad job explaining it, but I would love to.
It's good to have mystery for this. I don't want to know a ton about it.
Right. So like I've only seen it once, and I would like to see it multiple times. But I think it also explores like the relationship between like, the historical professor. Yeah. He's very like mild mannered or whatever, and like relationships. Yeah. The relationship he has with his girlfriend, and like there's two counterparts to it, and the actor is more of like he's not as involved with they're both not as involved with the relationship. So I don't know. It kind of explores like how love works.
Yeah. But like I really do like his work, because I thought Arrival was great. It was one of my favorite movies of 2017, I believe.
2016 possibly.
Yeah, I think it was.
Whenever it was.
Actually, it might have been 2017.
Whenever it was one of my favorite movies of that year.
2016. Okay.
2016.
But so.
I think I saw it in January 2018, because I think it was limited in 2016.
Right.
I think.
I want to see the film again, and I want to get because I was very like caught off guard with a lot of things, but a lot of the images, especially the ending.
Yeah.
But he has. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Also, I mean, we're not even mentioning some of his other great ones because he did Blade Runner, Prisoners,
Sicario,
and he's doing a reboot of Blade.
Yeah,
oh, not Blade.
Dune.
I don't know why I said Blade.
No.
Well, I think you said Blade Runner.
Blade Runner and yes.
Blade. I was making
Blade is Mahershala Ali.
If he was directing Blade, that'd be a great movie.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Dune.
But Dune is coming out, and that's gonna be pretty exciting.
That's the one that's like terribly polarizing.
Yeah, it's like a book that's considered unfilmable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Dune is that like what I've heard is that like you have people who like swear by it and people who are like, oh, this sucks. It's like both.
It's just they have Timothée Chalamet playing the main character,
and I think Jason Momoa is in it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it just because I like weird sci-fi.
Also, I think Denis Villeneuve is somebody who's more than capable of.
Oh yeah, I trust in him. I don't think he'll make a bad movie.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely check out Enemy.
Check out Enemy. I think both of you would like it. And there's like a lot of things to unpack there. But yeah,
neat. Yeah. Well, moving on. I think we don't. Sorry, our apologies. We don't really have time for
That's good.
your.
I still have DLC for the game I was going to talk about to play, so I'll mention it next week.
Yes. Very very prestigious series, I think.
Yes.
Or game. It's a single game.
Yeah.
With in any case.
Spin-off.
In any case, so this week's topic is bad movies.
Yes. Movies that are so bad, either they make you laugh or they're so bad, they just make you cringe and angry.
I'm so glad I didn't forget that like we changed it.
Yeah. We've got plenty of good topics these next couple weeks.
Yeah. Yes, we have a lot of plans. So I think we have to open with The Room.
Yes. I mean, it's the quintessential bad movie.
I was actually just watching clips from the Room last night with my roommate, and it's so funny.
It's so
funny.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
like your backdrops on the roof that are clearly a backdrop and not outside.
Yeah, like friggin' Greg Sestero's character is like pushing this guy over the roof, and it's literally just a green screen.
This movie, I mean, like, what else is there to say about The Room that hasn't already been said?
Yeah.
It's.
I think the Vox guy, the guy who was like on Vox, who I think he was the writer of Disaster Artist, said it best. He said that it's like if an alien made a movie but hadn't watched a movie beforehand and made a movie based on what was told about him about how to make movies.
Yeah.
Like that's like how it would end up. Like that's like the perfect description of.
So you're saying Tommy Wiseau is an alien?
I mean. I mean, I'm not gonna say
I don't
he's
know.
not an alien.
If somebody like told, like, if a journalist reported that he was an alien and that he was trapped in Area 51, I don't know if I wouldn't believe that journalist.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the Area 51 raid happened and we just found Tommy Wiseau? It's like,
he was among us the whole time.
Everybody like Naruto sprints to like Area 51 and like.
Didn't that already happen? I think I saw pictures
today. I think.
Yeah, I think I saw pictures today, and it's like.
All right, guys,
it's just like a protest.
Imagine it's Tommy Wiseau and Randy Quaid. The two sitting.
Don't forget John Waters.
Oh, and John Waters.
Except they're the ones who lead the charge. And
Shaggy leads the charge.
Shaggy, yeah. Shaggy and Scooby.
Oh. I would follow them.
Which I think you would have to be there for.
Yeah, I would have to introduce myself. I would imagine me Naruto running with that helmet on, and like I see Scooby, and I'm just like Scooby.
I'm just waiting for a GIF today of somebody having taken that end scene from Endgame and just like putting all these different memes over the characters and then rushing in.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Okay.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
The Room.
We're talking about The Room. Very Tommy Wiseau.
Very, very typical. Well, what you would think of as a bad film. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
There's nothing in this movie that's actually good.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Now let's talk about a film.
I don't know. I think Greg Sestero did his best. It's just the script is really bad. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is a genre that has the most
bad
films.
Horror films.
Yeah, the horror genre is sort
That's
of
an easy answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
The horror genre is notorious for having tons of bad movies.
So I have to give a shout out when we're talking about this with bad horror films. Our episode, I think it was the week before Halloween that we did.
Was it the week before, or was it the Halloween episode?
It was one of the two. I can't remember if it was the Halloween or the week before Halloween. But when Ahmad and I discussed the Halloween franchise.
Yes.
Specifically
the marathon of the Halloween franchise.
Because I had binged them all before I came to school, and I will specifically say Halloween Resurrection. It came out in like 2002 with Busta Rhymes. Is the worst. Not only is it the worst Halloween movie, it's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It is hilariously bad. There is
every time you describe this movie to me, I have to laugh.
There is a scene where Busta Rhymes ninja kicks Michael Myers out of a window and literally says "Hi-ya" as he kicks him out of a window. he goes like "Hi-ya," and like just like this weird like he tries to emulate Bruce Lee and kick him out of a window.
Oh my god!
As he kicks him out of a window, somehow Michael Myers is able to tumble into a power cord and end up getting hung by this power cord after he gets kicked out of a window. It's like
insane.
This is the worst movie I have ever seen.
Dude, many of the horror films that came out, that was early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
A lot of the horror films specifically from that period, that was a really rough time, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a rough time.
We
could do a whole episode about bad early 2000s horror films.
We can.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull up a list of movie genres.
Okay. All
We're
right.
gonna go.
While
by
he's doing
movie
that,
genres.
while he's doing that, I'm gonna leave a couple other highlights from Halloween Resurrection, such as the final line from Busta Rhymes once Michael Myers is electrocuted towards the end of the film is "You look a little bit crispy there, Michael, like some chicken fried mother f."
Oh my god.
That's literally the final line in the
god.
movie.
Oh god. Okay.
Wow. I love that a studio thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I can't imagine the person who sat there, wrote that script, submitted it to the studio, and the studio said, "Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Sign off on it. Here's $30 million."
$30 million. That was the budget for that. Dude.
I don't know what it was. Regardless, it was too much.
It probably was 30. You see, that makes me hopeful, somewhat. But that was also in 2002.
This is also when they just killed off Jamie Lee Curtis in the beginning in the stupidest way possible. Yeah. Spoilers, but you shouldn't care.
So I'd say we just said we agreed that horror might be
horror is most notorious.
But I think the second most would be comedy.
Oh yeah, comedy.
I would say comedy. I think that like the interesting thing about comedy is that like if it's one of those movies that's like so bad it's good, you watch it comedically. Yeah. You don't watch it as a serious movie.
What I'm saying is there are a lot of comedy films that have come out recently. And much like how we just discussed that horror films have had a bad time in the early 2000s, I think that comedy films are having a very comedy. There aren't a lot of comedy movies recently that have caught my attention or have made me actually laugh, and that might be because I don't know if I'm grown up, but which is kind of sad to think about. But there are genuinely not a lot of comedy films that have come out recently that I think are actually good.
Now I may get some flack for saying this, but for me personally, I think the problem I've had with comedy films specifically recently is they seem to pander to the lowest common denominator to make the most money they can. Like, it's not a lot of creative comedy. Like, for example, for me, and I don't want to sound like, the film snob. He only likes elite comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be pretentious, but
I'm just like a lot of these ones now. I'm thinking of ones like Scott Pilgrim, which is it's one of my favorite movies, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a perfect movie. But what I loved about that is it was creative. The jokes were subtle. They weren't just the same rehashed jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones we're seeing now are your same.
Like Spy. Like anything from Will Ferrell that came out recently. I'm gonna go ahead and just list. I mean, Spy wasn't a terrible. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I'm talking stuff like.
Hustlers, Holmes and Watson. Vice wasn't a comedy. Well, it was kind of.
Which one? Vice.
I was going to say.
I can go on for a while about that. No, you don't want me.
Yeah, I was just reading off the list.
Okay.
But Holmes and Watson is one that came out recently.
Garbage.
So that was.
Is that right?
My roommate told me about it when he saw it. It's to him it was one of the worst movies he had ever seen.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I would say, probably a low point in Will Ferrell's career.
Yeah. The House, which is also Will Ferrell. I'm just listing Will Ferrell because like that's the first actor I've come to mind where it's just like he had a really strong opening for his career, and now like the films he's making are very.
Well, you're not even thinking about another actor who had a fall from grace in terms of comedy.
I'm just gonna say Kevin James.
We're on the right track.
Kevin
Adam
Sandler. Adam Sandler. Okay. Well, here's the thing about
the biggest fall from grace.
The biggest fall from grace. But here's the thing.
Lord.
He is coming back.
Yeah, he is on the way back. We talked about like what was it, 2 weeks ago? Uncut Gems.
Yeah, Uncut Gems. That's right. Yeah.
So, but let's just go ahead and let's just list off his most recent films. Murder Mystery, garbage. Hotel Transylvania 3. Haven't seen it. Even though I like the first one.
I haven't seen the first one.
The Ridiculous Six.
That movie is racist. Like if you watch it, it is seriously racist.
What, The Ridiculous Six?
Yeah, it's a western, so yeah. I mean, there's
the do-over.
The way they treat Native Americans in Ridiculous Six is just like, in 2016, that's probably not a good idea to say some of that stuff.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine.
One film that I did, however, think was somewhat creative that came out recently was Game Night.
I don't think I saw.
I thought Game Night was more of a horror movie.
Was that the one with Jason Bateman?
Yeah, Jason Bateman.
Yeah, I did see that.
I think Jason Bateman's a consistently good comedy actor. I think
he does. I will say,
actor.
Does use the same kind of
It's the same thing. Yeah,
I don't want to be there type kind of character.
It's like many of these like comedic actors. It's hard to find a versatile comedy actor because a lot of them seem to like. Kevin Hart plays somewhat of the same character every time. Adam Sandler plays the same character every time.
The creep who just does weird.
I will say I do think Will Ferrell has a little bit of range. He always plays the weirdos.
Yeah.
But I do think he has the ability to do different.
He does have range. And that's the thing is just like.
Yeah. I like Will Ferrell. It's just hard for me to. The only problem I have is that whenever he tries to do like dramatic stuff, it like his comedy background gets in the way of that for me.
I still think my favorite for him is when he did his George Bush impression on SNL. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's a classic. But I was just talking about. I think like just as a kid, some of my favorite like comedy films that are classics. Anything from Jim Carrey.
I'm not a Jim Carrey fan.
Dumb and Dumber, I laughed so hard to as a kid. It was like my brand of comedy, which is pretty much just stupid and somewhat smart.
I watch clips of like Jim Carrey acting in movies, and I'm like, this is like he has created his own genre of actors.
Right. I guess I just mentioned my brand of comedy, but like I think it really is just like situational comedy. I love when characters get put in situations and something funny gets like Seinfeld is one of my favorite shows ever, and like it's literally all just situational comedy where these characters get put into these circumstances because of their own doing, and now they have to deal with it, and like it's just sometimes.
But what part of what makes that funny, especially using the Seinfeld example, is you've built these characters.
Right.
So the characters getting into these situations are funny. Yeah. It's not, somebody said something offensive or somebody said something stupid or somebody falls against themselves.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
It's characters you like getting in situations that are ridiculous.
Right, that's what I was going to actually correct myself because I didn't mean like stupid comedy, but in terms of just like Dumb and Dumber also is just like, despite the name, they get put into these like situations. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. And like they have to like it's just funny to see how the characters have to deal with it. And I think I'm taking a screenwriting class right now, and it's interesting because Dr. Barron, the teacher who's teaching it, mentioned how when thinking about drama and stuff, and like how you have to have conflict, and through conflict comes like this like climax or whatever. It works equally as well with comedy, where you just like you put these characters in situations. And the character works towards a goal, and like sometimes that goal is really funny because how they go about reaching that goal is really funny, which could go work either way with drama and comedy. So I think what I'm trying to say is like they're similar, in that these characters they need to do something. They need to do something about their situation.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that like Jim Carrey has never really been able to break free of the like Dumb and Dumber
Well, he has.
thing.
He has though.
Well,
I would say he has.
I don't,
He has things like the Truman Show. He has things like.
Well, but I don't think that he's really broken free of like the comedic actor thing, whereas Jeff Daniels definitely has.
The only one I would say that I can think of off the top of my head where he wasn't doing something even slightly comedic would be Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine, yeah.
Would be really the only one I can think of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which I guess is amongst film fans and hipsters, it has a big following. But in terms of the general public, I would say it doesn't really.
Now, I would argue, like a lot of the times, I feel like we just mentioned how Will Ferrell doesn't have like he's kind of whenever he tries to do something dramatic, it doesn't work out because he's kind of built himself up as a comedy.
Well, and it just like you can't help but see that part of him in the role.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to say that there's a lot of comedy actors, and we kind of talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
Who are capable of like being very dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think when it does work out, I
think somebody like Bill Hader has done really good for himself in that regard.
And Steve Carell.
Steve Carell has done a lot of like I feel like he's done just as many like dramatic roles as he has with like comedy films. Not including The Office.
Perfect example is Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss
Sunshine.
Great in that. Right. Yeah.
So I would almost argue that
Foxcatcher too. Yeah.
I would almost argue that people like Sarah Silverman. I like her more in like Wreck-It Ralph than I do as a comedic person.
Yeah.
Same with Amy Schumer. I think she would actually be really good if she just did a dramatic role.
Yeah, right.
So, getting back onto the bad ones, what are some of the worst comedies you've seen? For me,
I don't know. Man.
I think this is going back. This is a bit obscure, but have you ever seen The Watch?
Oh yeah. Wait, is this okay? So this is Ben Stiller, Jonah Hill. Richard Ayoade and there were some pop moments in that I thought were kind of funny, but like the premise of the film was just bad.
I don't even remember much about it. I was hating it.
It was most because like this is when Jonah Hill was on the rise, and like he was on the rise in Superbad, but like this is the period of time where he was coming out with like films like The Babysitter, 21 Jump Street, and he came out with The Watch, and I was like, he was on a roll.
Yeah,
and his parts stood out to me the most.
It was during Jonah Hill's rise and Vince Vaughn's fall. There was like a brief on the graph. There's like a brief intersection where those two things met.
I think Vince Vaughn is a good. I like him.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying in terms of Hollywood.
He was on the fall.
That and Ben Stiller too, arguably.
Yeah, Ben. Ben Stiller. Oh yeah, he was. I was thinking.
The last movie I remember seeing him in was probably Zoolander 2, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
So.
The Internship was okay.
I watched. I would say probably the worst comedy I've ever seen was probably one of like the new age Disney Channel movies.
Oh wait,
some of them are pretty good, but a bunch of them are like.
I mean, it's because we're also definitely out of the age group for Disney Channel movies at this point.
I got you. Is it Alexander in his horrible day or whatever?
Yeah, I think for me, like, if we're going back and looking at like old Disney ones, a lot of Disney Channel stuff or like anything in general is. I know it's not theatrical release, but it's. As a kid, you liked it, but looking at it now, it's really bad.
Yeah. It's like it's made for like teens who are like.
I wouldn't even say teens. I would say it's made for anybody below the age of 13.
Yeah, it's made for like 12-year-olds who are not who want to be teenagers. Like they're like ready to be teenagers, but they're not. Like I think that's like most of like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon's brand.
Yeah,
really?
of the live action stuff. I still think the cartoons that they have can apply to older. So, like Avatar is still great now.
Yeah,
so
Avatar.
How do we? I'm going to change the topics.
Oh, you're good.
But how do we feel about the Scary Movie films?
You mean like the spoof?
I haven't seen any.
First two
progressively get bad.
First two are funny.
Okay, yeah.
Because the third one has its moments.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not that great.
Okay.
4 and 5 are trash.
Because I want to kind of discuss spoof films. Like there's a disaster film. There's the There was something called there was a spoof film on the Hunger Games that I saw.
I think bad. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
There's like
the Starving Games.
There's Starving Games.
Starving Games was really bad. Epic movie,
date movie, superhero movie, scary movie 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Vampires Suck.
Yeah.
Which was a Twilight spoof.
Yeah.
Meet the Spartans, which was Meet the Parents in 300 spoof. There was what else was?
Those are all bad.
If it ends in movie, like it's blank movie, it's probably bad.
It's probably bad.
And there was also Super Fast, which I believe was a Fast and Furious ripoff.
Also the Medea films. The Medea films for me, like the first one was funny, but that was like in 2002 It's 5.
Like, I personally, I'm also very much not the audience
Yeah.
for Medea, but at the same time, I've never really been interested.
Right, yeah. I'm just thinking of, like, also, thinking of, like, comedy franchises or whatever, like, that I've...
I think the one because comedy sequels, there really aren't that many good
There's, like, Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, no, those are bad.
The only one, like, comedy sequel that I remember being almost, if not more funny than the original one was 22 Jump Street.
Oh.
22 Jump Street is hilarious.
That was 22 Jump Street is really funny. I watched that multiple times.
And that's Phil Lord and Chris Miller. It's got their magic all over that one.
Yeah.
I saw Animal House over the summer.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
And I'd say all of the vacation, like National Lampoon Vacation movies are great, except for Vegas Vacation and the 2015 reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Those are both bad.
Yeah, the European was good. Vegas Vacation was good, I would say.
Vegas Vacation was garbage.
I got some disagreement here.
Well, that's good.
Fisticuffs.
Well,
good.
I mean, we can both agree the best one is Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the
the
best one
best.
is Christmas. It is Christmas. I love Christmas. The Christmas one. I also love the first one. Is that
That's just called Vacation.
Vacation, yeah. But the European one was good. Vegas was good, and you. I think that's good. Maybe this is just. Anything. Actually, Chevy Chase has some interesting films that I love. Maybe this is just such a childhood thing.
I think if we're looking at these, a lot of comedy franchises, it's hard to sustain, and a lot of them, the jokes are played out by the time you get to a sequel. Mm-hmm. Like the 2015 Vacation movie, I saw that entire movie, did not laugh once the entire film.
Yeah, did not laugh at all.
It's not good.
Any of the reboots, honestly, I forget that Chris Hemsworth is in that.
I forgot about that too. Actually, didn't mention that.
Let's since we're running out of time a little bit, let's move through some other genres. I wanted to mention action movies because the Matrix sequels.
Okay,
two is good. 3.
I'll fight you on that.
3 is really bad.
3 is not that bad.
3 is really bad. The end fight is actually really cool because it's just a Dragon Ball Z fight, but the rest of that movie is garbaggio.
The movies are inherently ridiculous. Matrix has always been your late 90s, early 2000s cheese.
The first movie is awesome.
I agree.
The second movie is fine. The third movie is just bad.
Okay. The first movie, I'm not gonna lie, is one of the best sci-fi movies of all time.
Yes.
But it's Matrix and it's the entire trilogy is inherently cheesy because it's that late 90s, early 2000s, like, whoa, the internet, dude. Like, it's that type of thing. So, like, I mean, the first one, we kind of look back with rose-tinted glasses because it's such an iconic movie.
I don't know. That movie is basically perfect.
I agree. What I'm saying, though, is that, like, I give the sequels some leeway because it's an inherently cheesy franchise.
I want to do that, and I kind of do that with 2, because 2 I think gets a worse rap than it deserves. I think it has some issues with like tell and not show, but I think otherwise it's perfectly good action. But like
the highway chase is great.
Yeah, the highway chase is great. Like the fight scenes are all pretty good, I would say. But the third movie and like mech battles, really? Like, what?
Granted, I will say, it has been a long time since I saw Matrix 2 and 3.
Like, when I saw mech battles in the third movie, I was like, I'm over this. And the last fight scene between him and Agent Smith is awesome. Yeah. But it just, like, the rest of the movie is awful. It's kind of like The Phantom Menace. It's like...
Yeah. All right, so
this is
compiled some bad action movies for you guys. Let's start talking about actors. Dwayne Johnson. He has some good movies, action movies. He has some bad action movies. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Jumanji's a good one. Baywatch is not a good one.
I'm waiting to see. There was a movie he had this year. I'm waiting to see if you say it, because if you say it, I will fight you.
Skyscraper?
No, it's not that one.
No, there's
Hobbs and Shaw.
Are you mentioning it as a bad movie?
Wait, I haven't seen it. Well,
I kind of want to see Hobbs and Shaw just so I can make up my mind about it.
It is ridiculously stupid. It is also quite funny. Yeah. But if you're not a Fast and Furious fan, there likely isn't any reason for you to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I will say there is a cameo at the beginning and at the end, which I did not see coming, and it is absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
Do you want to know who the cameo is?
It's Ryan Reynolds, right?
Ryan Reynolds pops up.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's awesome.
There's
I want to see this now.
There's like he only has 2 scenes, but the first scene is like there's a CIA agent who's like, the handler for Dwayne Johnson, and he comes in off screen in this diner, and I hear that voice, and I was like, wait a minute, and then he sits down, and I was like, you gotta be kidding.
That's like awesome. It's like the end of Detective Pikachu.
He's in that, and then the guy who played Peter in Deadpool 2 is in this too, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a Deadpool 2 reunion.
Yeah. It's like a Deadpool 2 crossover.
I think he's one of like the top paid actors.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds might be, but Hercules. I mean, that was a bad one.
Nobody remembers
San Andreas.
He's one of those actors where he can make consistently bad action movies or just mediocre action movies, and they still make millions of dollars.
Yeah, and like he still gets a lot of money.
I think it's partially because Dwayne Johnson has just like built up his rapport, and now he's just like one of the most likable actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, he seems like he's a good person. And
Are there
people
any
like
of those?
Want to go to see Dwayne Johnson?
Are there anything other than the Fast and Furious movies that he's had recently that has a Metacritic score above 60?
Do you count the Tooth Fairy?
No. That's also not.
I think it would just be Jumanji.
I mean, like
probably just Jumanji.
Yeah.
What about Rampage? Did
Rampage
Rampage
just came and went. It has 52.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't pass my test.
Nope.
I'm still right. I'm still right.
Moana's one that he did recently. That was
which one?
Moana. That wasn't an action film, but like that was. I mean, that's something.
It counts.
He's not the.
It counts.
It counts. It counts.
But, I mean, I guess we are talking about action films. I mean, I could mention Jason Statham as well. I don't know how, like Crank.
Okay, Crank is a guilty pleasure movie.
Okay, there are some sequences that are questionable. Maybe that hasn't aged well.
That whole movie is just.
Yeah, but like that's one of those movies. I remember playing a video game online with like the Crank thing, where you drive his car and like you rush around the city to like pick up the syringes that he needs as for adrenaline, and like if you run out, you lose the game.
Crank teaches kids to do drugs.
Yeah, that's how I. Yeah.
Okay, that's our theme for this episode. Is just drugs.
just like
drug cartels and the
Bakugan trade.
Oh my.
Yes, just the black market.
I just imagine the president coming on screen is like, we're here to talk about the illegal Bakugan trade.
Happening all over the school.
They're being smuggled in from Japan.
That's how Japan's taking over America.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make
given some of the stuff our current president has said, I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm going to have to check this episode.
That would actually be really fun.
When I upload this episode, I'm going to have to uncheck it as a clean episode.
You have to be like, oh, from 18 years old.
Yeah, it's the first explicit lab rat.
Yes, because we talk about drugs.
Okay, so two more things and we can move on to another genre. Yeah. Olympus Has Fallen, the Olympus series, or like the Has Fallen series or whatever. Like Olympus Has Fallen, what's the other one? Like,
are you really going to do that to your boy Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman is good. He's a good actor. I'm just saying like the films himself as a whole.
Yes. Olympus is a cheesy 90s movie and it's a fun time.
Well,
I won't say it's good, but it's a fun time.
Okay, like it's not bad. I'm just saying like
but this is the problem is that like a lot of people said that about like the new Godzilla movie. And it's like the like my issue is like if you walked away from a movie and enjoyed yourself, why is it bad?
True.
Okay. Like that's kind of my perspective.
Okay. I think if we're looking at it, you go ahead, unless Drew, you had a couple more.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say like the biggest ones for bad action movies are straight to video or straight to like streaming action movies. Okay. Yeah. Like your pretty much anything starring like Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dominic Purcell, all of those sort of movies. I'm just like you walk into a Walmart and there's just a couple of like $10 DVDs of just. One of them was like Assault on Wall Street, all ones like that.
No, I was gonna mention. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned this one now that you put it like that. But Liam Neeson, he's a good action.
Yeah.
He's
got some good movies.
He has like Dwayne Johnson level kind of action where it's like it's very.
He's not.
He's an actor who has tenure. He can make bad movies and it's not going to affect him.
It's not going to affect him. So like,
he's affected by other things now.
Yeah. Well.
Van Damme Bloodsport. That's a classic.
Well, Van Damme was great in the 80s. I'm talking about now.
Oh,
Van Damme post 90s is not got that many. Except, Expendables 2 was fun.
Oh, the Expendables movies. He's in Kung Fu Panda 3. Did not know that.
Kung Fu Panda 3 is a great movie.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it.
You guys both need to do yourselves a favor and watch the.
I love the second one. Come on,
I remember seeing the first one, and I don't remember if I saw the second.
The second one
you should if you don't remember them, you should watch them again because they are legitimately awesome movies.
So I'm
not just saying that.
The second one was like a weird thing where it's just like that's the only DVD we had at our home at that time for some reason. So we literally had it on repeat, and I love that movie.
I love how you go through different phases where it's like Kung Fu Panda 2, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes. I'm really
you just have like one DVD.
That's the thing. It's just it makes me appreciate films. It's how I got into filmmaking. So
we gotta mention. You have any other ones you want to mention on action?
Spider-Man 3.
Okay. No. Okay. As we're gonna have to formally ask you to leave.
It's a bad.
It's a highly mediocre movie.
That still counts.
Okay. Well, before
I will say I rewatched it at one point. I think I told you guys this.
Yeah.
The Sandman stuff is actually pretty good. The rest of the movie is trash. Everything with Sandman in it is fine, and he's in it for like 10 minutes.
Well, before we go, I will say we'll wrap up with the conversation at the end being like listing 5 movies that are just garbage or just listing off the top of our head. I want to finish the genres real quick though.
Yeah.
We can't talk about bad movies without mentioning bad kids movies because wow, there's a ton.
There's a lot.
Most of them are bad.
And I think
most of the Thomas movies. I will
defend
Thomas
Disney,
and the Magic Railroad.
If it's not Disney / Pixar, then it's likely not good.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, the Thomas cast. Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I love it. I don't even care if Alec Baldwin is a bad person. It's so good.
I also mentioned that makes me wonder. That makes me think about animated films that are bad.
Anything from Illumination.
Oh,
wow.
The entire studio.
Okay.
They have never made a good movie.
Right.
I will stake my claim on that.
What does Illumination even do?
Despicable Me 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Despicable Me. The
no,
first movie
I
is
refuse.
a fine
I
movie.
refuse.
That movie is
I refuse.
fine.
Your opinion is invalid.
Okay, so they have the Pets movies. They have they made the Grinch. Like The Secret Life of Pets is what I mean.
Yeah.
Minions.
They made the Grinch, Minions, Sing, The Lorax. Come on, The Lorax is good.
Yeah, The Lorax is alright.
Yeah. It's
These
good.
movies are all made explicitly to pander to
what?
kids so they can make ridiculous amounts of money
what?
at the box
That
office.
doesn't mean that they're...
That doesn't mean they're good.
Sawyer has a good point.
But that doesn't mean they're bad.
They're incredibly...
But these are films we grew up... I grew up on
The Lorax is a fine movie.
Okay, but they have Hop. Hop. Do you remember Hop?
That was the one with James Marsden, right?
Yeah. I wonder
that movie... Okay.
Is that the bunny?
Yeah.
That movie predicted the future. I will tell you that right now because there's a shot in that movie that is literally the same shot of him sitting in the car with Sonic in the trailer. It's the same as in Hop. It's like I saw a meme of that of James Marsden sitting with there's 2 shots of him sitting in a car. One is with the bunny from Hop. One is with Sonic. And the caption was like, "If we don't remember history, we're doomed to repeat it." I was like,
oh my god. Man. Yeah, I guess like. They're not. They're not. Okay, so they're not.
Minions
they're not
is
winning.
fine. Despicable Me is fine.
Okay.
They're not winning any Oscars. But
if you legitimately like the Oscars, I think there is something wrong.
Or
not Oscars. I mean the Minions.
Oh, the Minions. Yeah.
I don't like the Minions, but I like have to watch it.
I like this.
And it's fine.
Good.
Yeah, Despicable Me 1 and 2 is fine.
Maybe I might just be too old. I don't know.
Despicable Me 1 is fine.
I did see these. Granted, I did see these at like a younger age, but like I still watch them. I haven't seen the Grinch movie. I haven't seen the Pets movies. Minions too.
I think you need to give the first Despicable Me movie another chance.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the Minions, this is completely unrelated. But if we haven't already made this episode explicit on it because of the drugs, I saw this meme with the Minions where it was like, the Minions have always consistently served the most evil person at the moment. So does that mean the Minions were technically Nazis in World War II?
Oh my god.
That's just like a horrible thought.
Like, I mean...
my question is, like... You have so many people, like, stealing the moon and stuff in the Despicable Me movies. Yeah. Did the Nazis exist?
I mean, I don't know. Are we talking about the timeline of the Minions universe?
I kind of hope so, just so we can preserve the innocence of the Minions.
Watch, that quote's gonna get taken out of context, and you saying, "I hope the Nazis exist." Like, it's gonna get taken out of context.
People are just gonna splice together me.
We're gonna get deepfaked.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we can also talk about Sony's animated lineup.
You mean garbage?
Talk about a bad lineup.
Into the Spider-Verse was really good.
Yeah, okay, that's the reason. I will say that.
Let's do Angry Birds. The Angry Birds animated movies, Hotel Transylvania movies, the Emoji movie they have, which
Apparently, you
Which
said
outweighs
the Hotel Transylvania 1 is pretty good.
Well, 1 is good, but the second one is bad. The third one is bad. They have Peter Rabbit. We could say that's
Peter Rabbit that's pretty kind of got panned.
It's pretty much Hop. That's like the equivalent of Hop, but.
Or James Bond.
Well, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is.
That was
they have the good movies kind of don't equal.
They're few and far between.
But they have the Smurf movies.
Oh, we were counting those as bad, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, I was gonna say like.
Okay, but here's another one.
I want to say that the first one is all right, but it's been so long.
Okay.
The open season isn't bad. The first one.
Yeah, Open Season's a pretty good movie.
Surf's Up.
You know what is a good movie that you should also think about is Over the Hedge.
We haven't even mentioned DreamWorks yet. Now that we're talking about that.
Yeah,
DreamWorks. Okay, DreamWorks has good movies.
DreamWorks.
I will say
like half and half.
the first 2.5 Shrek movies are good.
Oh, okay. Wait, well, you're
2.5.
Okay, what's
like half of the third one?
Half of 3 is okay.
Well, the recent movies have been trash. Trolls, Home, and Baby Boss. Yeah, Captain Underpants.
Baby Boss that movie made ridiculous amounts of money.
Also had an animated show.
Didn't it win the Oscar?
I think it might have.
It was nominated. It didn't win.
Oh, okay.
It would have.
That movie made so much money. I worked at a movie theater when it came out.
Well, and it has a Netflix series too.
Yeah,
it got a 52 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, but Home was bad. Trolls was. I haven't seen. I want to see it. I'm not really interested. Captain Underpants kind of came and went.
I kind of want to see it just because I grew up on the Captain Underpants comics.
Yeah.
The Croods. The only notable ones that I would say.
The Croods was fine. The Croods, I remember.
It was. Rise of the Guardians was good.
Yeah, I liked Rise of like superhero holiday.
Yeah,
figures.
that was pretty cool.
Is DreamWorks?
So
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, I was gonna say the only notable ones. Yeah, would be How to Train Your Dragon, and Shrek. And also Kung Fu Panda.
I was gonna say, are you about to forget my boy Poe?
Dude, I would never do that. I want to revisit those movies. But no, I was like, it got dark. I just like spaz out. Wait, there's like Turbo is. I remember watching Turbo. Mr. Peabody and Sherman was pretty fun.
Is Turbo the snail?
Yeah.
Yeah, Turbo was good.
But it was your typical like.
We're not even talking bad movies at this point. We're just listing off animated movies.
The Madagascar films.
Oh yeah, those are pretty. I like one.
Those are good.
You know what sucks? Cars 2. We need to talk about that.
That's a Disney.
Okay.
I thought you said that Disney was.
I disagree with you.
They're not exempt.
I'll disagree with you because like I think Cars 2 is.
You were really about to look me in the face and defend Cars 2.
Yes, I'm going to. I'm not going to defend Cars 3. But
Cars 3 is good.
They
brought it back to racing. It's good.
But Cars 2 took it worldwide and like it was still.
It's not a racing movie. Cars is a racing movie.
It's James Bond Cars is what that is.
An espionage film, which I kind of liked. I enjoyed.
I respect that you like Cars 2.
I respect that you like it. You're wrong, but I respect that you like it.
I respect that you like it, and I still think that Cars 1 and 3 are good movies.
Okay.
I have not seen any past the first one. Except I did see the second one, and I remember even when it came out 2011.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it was 11 when I saw it, and even as an 11-year-old, I was like, "This sucks."
Yeah. You know what we just flew by?
What?
DreamWorks has the B movie.
Oh.
I don't know how we feel about the B movie. Is it good?
Doesn't he fall in love with a human?
Yeah, I think so. There's also, I think, there's some lines that very much are not kid-friendly lines that, if we haven't already made this episode explicit, I'm not going to repeat anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Also, was DreamWorks the Robots movie with, like, Robin Williams?
That one was actually pretty good.
I saw, like, I don't know why it popped up in my recommended on YouTube, but there was a clip of, like, jokes that go over kids' heads. And there was some stuff in Robots that, like, I am legitimately surprised was in that movie.
I saw the same one, I think, yeah.
I think I'm forgetting a DreamWorks movie.
Like franchise and
Penguins of Madagascar.
Shark Tale. Penguins of Madagascar is really funny. I really like that.
Shark Tales is so deep in the uncanny valley. It's scary.
I think you're talking about Monsters vs. Aliens.
Hey, that was alright.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I liked Monsters vs. Aliens. I also Flushed Away is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. DreamWorks has a good lineup. It's like
speaking of obscure DreamWorks ones, did you know there was a sequel to Surf's Up?
I did not know that.
It's called like Surf's Up 2 Surfmania, and it's
that's a whole topic on its own. Just
Surf's Up is a good movie.
It's Surf's Up 2 starring all WWE wrestlers.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
They completely change the premise and get rid of some of the main characters, but it's all like WWE. God. It's called Surf's Up 2 Surfmania or something.
Wait, here it is. Surf's Up 2, Wave Mania.
Wave Mania.
And then like it's literally all just all WWE. John Cena, The Undertaker, Vince Mahone,
Vince McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Triple H, John Heder. Yeah, it's pretty much all just WWE characters.
The day when I see
really funny.
Triple H, his next movie is going to be Surf's Up 2, Wave Mania.
Dude, that's a whole topic on its own. Like just animated sequels that were not as big as the
You could just do it with sequels in general.
Yeah, that's true. Sequels in general, like the Aladdin sequel.
Well, we got time for our last. We'll have to cut a little bit early for our last 10 minutes.
Let's go around the room. Up to 5. I don't know if I have 5, so we're gonna say up to 5 bad movies off the top.
I'm not prepared.
I already mentioned Halloween Resurrection.
Okay.
Movie's bad. The 2015 version of Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Is horrendously bad.
Right.
It's also, I would say, what makes that one different is unlike Halloween Resurrection, where it's like, how did this get made? This is so bad. Fantastic Four is one of those ones where it just feels unfinished. It's like that Fox was like, okay, well, you got to cut all this out. You can't reshoot this. Okay, slap it together in the edit room. You're out of time. Put it in theaters. Like, they didn't even... When you're watching it, it feels like, okay, they cut here. This scene didn't get finished. This was missing. There's a lot of just... Yeah, that was bad.
So 2015 Fantastic Four.
What else could I go with? You want to go around what we think?
Ahmad.
Okay.
You give me 2.
Okay. The Bye Bye Man I saw recently, and that was atrocious.
Okay.
It was horrific. And not in a good way. It wasn't a good horror movie. And Suicide Squad. Surprise.
Surprise. All right. We'll go controversial. I don't like Star Wars: A New Hope.
You're gonna put that in one of the worst movies of all time. I was gonna say.
I thought he was gonna mention. I think I know what he's gonna mention. He's gonna mention
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, there it is.
And Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
I thought you were gonna say Attack of the Clones.
No, Attack of the Clones is fine.
Okay, wait. You're
it's just super boring.
Okay, well.
Anyways, Sawyer.
We've
talked about this before.
The remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Only because that movie feels gross to watch for reasons that I'm not going to mention here.
Yeah.
There's stuff in that movie that is just like...
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to think of one that I think would be controversial.
I will say, even though that movie's not great, Jackie Earl Haley was a great choice to play Freddy. I will defend him. He was a good choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I don't have one. I don't know. I know there's a lot that I've that have come out. Controversial. I don't think.
Oh, I've got one.
Okay, what do you have?
Divergent.
Oh.
That movie was...
Well, I guess I literally just mentioned Cars 3. Wait, the all are good. We're not saying the all are
No,
good.
we were talking about bad movies.
Okay, I mean, Cars 2 I like.
Well, I can forgive you for being mistaken, because he did mention Revenge of the Sith and Spider-Man 3, so you might be thinking good movies.
Yeah. I think these are guilty pleasures. Is it guilty pleasures or just movies we don't like?
Just bad.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want.
It could be a guilty pleasure. At this point, mention a TV show.
It doesn't even really matter.
A TV show.
Video game. What's a bad video game
What's
you played
one
recently?
like
Sonic 06.
Well, I'm almost talking about good movies. I never talk about bad movies. And I just listed the Bye Bye Man. That was like a recent thing.
Now, you'll probably hate me for this, but if we're talking bad TV, there are several seasons of Arrow that could probably fit in there.
Yeah, I mean, seasons 3, 4, and the end of 7 are pretty bad.
Okay, I got one. The Wicker Man.
Yeah, that definitely belongs in there. Oh,
The Cage.
This just came out. Speaking of movies that are that bad, shout out to Chris Stuckman on YouTube. He did a hilariosity review for this. John Travolta's movie, The Fanatic.
Oh.
That just came out.
Okay.
Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah, I think. Oh, and then going off of that, Gotti.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard of The Fanatic.
But
The Fanatic just came out. It's a movie where, starring John Travolta and Devon Sawa.
Okay.
Devon Sawa plays an actor in the movie, and John Travolta's a big fan of this actor. This actor, rejects him or something, and clearly there's something a little bit wrong with John Travolta's character. But he also plays him as being very special, which is also kind of bad that he's doing that in 2019.
Yeah.
But they don't explicitly state it, but he's not clearly all there. And he ends up, it's just a lot of weirdness. Also, the first line in this movie, as Chris Stuckman showed in his video, was, "Can we hurry this up? I have to poop."
Oh,
it's the first line
God.
in the movie.
So
that's how they introduced their main character.
Really
it was
funny.
like, wow.
What's going on with Don Trump?
All right.
So what is going on? Are you okay, John?
Yeah, like seriously, like okay, so the movie made like apparently like less than $10,000.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out an obscure one. Here we go.
Mhm.
It's a documentary called Grey Gardens. Have you
Okay.
guys heard about this one?
I have
Not, no.
Ahmad, look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's I don't remember the filmmaker's name. But
Oh,
it's
I got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is this the wait? Show it to me. That is not the Grey Gardens.
So you said the Grey.
No. Here, wait.
2000.
Give me a closer.
2009.
No. This is not a 2009.
Oh, you're talking about this one then.
Yes.
Okay.
This one. Was it 2009?
It's a period piece. Yeah.
Oh wow. It's an hour and a half long. And it's just footage of two insane women arguing for an hour and a half. And it's
Wow. Okay.
painful to watch. I did it mostly because I was forced to.
Yeah.
Wow, bad movie.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
So
So
actually that reminds me of a really.
What? How many movies have each of us mentioned at this point?
I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I don't
So
think.
there's an animated film called
Uh-oh.
Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the
Okay,
Cat.
well that movie is historically important, I will say.
Historically important.
Are you
It was
sure
the-
you're not thinking of Felix the Cat?
Felix the Cat.
There's Fritz the
Cat
Cat.
is the R-rated.
Yes.
Like, yeah, is that what? Because
That was really bad, dude.
I'm not saying it's good. It's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But I'm saying it's historically important.
Wait, how is that historically?
It's the first R-rated animated movie.
Oh.
Like the first not made for kids animated
Interesting.
movie.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's good. It's a terrible movie, but it is historically important.
It's okay. All right. It's an indie. Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one more for each person.
Shoot, I gotta come up with something. I don't know which one. There's so many
I'll
bad
say bad movies. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh.
I mean, is it really that bad?
The script is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a good movie, but I don't know if it's that bad.
We're just listing bad movies.
Okay.
I don't even have a top 5 bad movies. Like all of the movies I watch might as well.
I'm gonna do a tie for my last one.
Okay.
It's either Ultraviolet, which stars Mila Jovovich, which is basically a live-action anime. Ahmad, you should definitely check this one out
I think
because
I've-
it's ridiculous.
Shut up.
Came out in 2003.
Wait, I think somebody was talking to me about this.
I probably did actually.
Yeah. Wait.
Ultraviolet.
That and my last one, another one you guys should both check out because it's so ridiculous, and it's also it's one of these bad movies that it tries to take itself really seriously as
Nice.
a really serious drama movie, but it actually ends up being ridiculous. Is Babylon A.D. starring Vin Diesel?
Oh no.
Babylon
Yeah.
AD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. I got it for like $3 at Walmart, and I was like, you know what? I like Vin Diesel. Why not? I remember watching this movie confused.
It has a Metascore of 26.
Yeah.
The highest review listed here on IMDb is a 63.
It is basically a like a knockoff version of Children of Men starring Clive Owen,
Yeah.
but more sci-fi and way more biblical allusions.
Oh.
Yeah, Children of Men is awesome. Super stressful, but pretty
It's
awesome.
a great, and that one-shot sequence is great.
Yeah.
I've seen so many.
Most
bad
of
movies.
most of the one-shot sequences in that movie are great.
Yeah. But I definitely recommend if you want to see if there's like a ridiculously bad movie that's like a fun time to watch with friends, Ultraviolet or Babylon AD.
Okay.
Oh,
I have one.
Friggin' Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Evolution, and then I was gonna say Birdemic.
Oh yeah.
Birdemic. Famously, sort of, like if you go to any film class ever, you will see footage of Birdemic,
Yes.
No. you
one
won't.
way or another.
Oh no, you won't.
Somehow it'll pop up.
It'll come up in conversation. For Lord's sake.
Yeah.
Or the full title, Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Oh, I would be concerned about what film school I would. Like if they show clips of Birdemic.
You should be pretty concerned about this one, my friend.
Have they shown you? Oh.
Yes, they showed me footage of Birdemic in like intro to film.
Oh my god. Oh wait, was that because that was supposed to be like a spoof or like it was supposed to be like bad? I didn't think I knew what you're talking because they showed footage of Dr. Hines showed footage of a like really bad film that was produced in Africa and it was like really low budget. So I think I know what you're talking about.
Also,
it was a Birdemic.
I have to mention these just because I don't know, Tanner, if you're listening or not. The first 3 and roughly 4 are good, but Saw 5 through 8 are trash.
Okay.
They are ridiculous. They're bad. They don't make any sense, and the acting is terrible. But they're a good time, and they're cheesy.
All right.
If you're gonna watch the Saw movies, just watch the first 3 and maybe number 4.
Okay. All right. With that, we have run out of time.
Yes.
So
I know
Sawyer,
we're cutting early a bit today,
Yes.
but I gotta go somewhere.
But,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares about the quality of our podcast? So Sawyer, will you tell the audience where they can find us?
So for social media, you can find us at CastKate or at CASTCATE on Twitter, because we could not get rid of our old handle from the Catacast days. But you can find us by searching the Lab Rats Entertainment Podcast on Twitter.
Okay.
We are at the Lab Rats Podcast on Instagram. We don't post there very much, but occasionally you'll get some stuff. Twitter's where you're going to want to go to keep up with our news. You can find this podcast on wherever you're listening now, as well as, let's see if I can get it right this time.
There are 8.
Yeah.
There are 8.
There's 8 now? I thought there was
Is it only 6?
Okay.
It's 6.
Okay.
6. Apologies.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music / Google Podcasts. They're the same
Whichever
thing.
one, yeah.
Whichever one. Stitcher.
Did you say Spotify?
I'm gonna start again. Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google, whatever, and Podbean.
That's it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I
That's
got
the
it.
full list.
After coughing my way through it and then repeating myself,
No, you got
I
it.
did it.
You got
Yes.
it.
So.
Yeah. Ahmad, anything you would like to say to the audience?
Come to BG Real meetings. Anybody who's out there.
Anybody who goes to BG.
Anybody who goes to
Yeah,
BG.
anybody
Actually,
at all.
Just
Yeah.
anybody in general. Just like random people come to BG Real meetings.
So people from California drive
yeah.
every Thursday.
Yeah, I mean we do have some viewers who are outside who
Yeah.
aren't going to college, but I think maybe the most of our listeners are
Most of you are U.S. listeners, I believe.
okay. But
So-
like if you go to Bowling Green State University, come to BG Real meetings if you're interested in filmmaking.
Apologies to our one Indian.
Yeah.
Maybe
the
just
one listener in India. We're sorry.
try to buy a ticket or something and make your way over here. But
Just to come to BG Real.
yeah, meet us.
We'll have
you
you
can
on.
meet
That'll
it.
be your bonus.
On any given week, some of us might be there. So,
yeah.
And we've got plenty of good guests lined up.
Yes.
For the
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
Quite a few people.
Very knowledgeable people who
Yes.
will offer us some.
And
of their
we've
opinions.
got
Some interesting.
already got
perspectives.
some good topics for next week.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys found
We
this.
have topics out the wazoo.
Oh yes, we've got
So.
plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of people.
Well,
So-
that'll do it for this week.
Yes.
We'll share this with your friends, anybody who is
Yes.
interested in film, television, video games. And if there's anything you would like us to talk about or any other platforms you would like us to be on, let us know.
Yes. Email us. Tweet at us.
DM us.
Yes. Make it happen. We
Yeah.
will talk about it if we know anything about what you want us to talk about. You might want us to talk about Soviet films, and we'll be like,
I know like 2 or 3.
I know a couple. Man with the Movie Camera is pretty good.
And with that,
Bye.
bye.